Time now for Media Watch. James Creedon on the other side of our studio, wrapped up, ready to go. Started with Brexit, and you're starting with satire. And can I just say, Brexit's too easy a target for the satirists. There's so much to go at, isn't there?
I know, but it's also like reality and satire just kind of merge.
Yeah, some of the things you wouldn't believe, would you? If
that's right.
They are actually happening.
That's right, and of course it is also quite serious. So it's something that it's
Good
not necessary. Yeah, I know it's kind of walking a fine line here. Anyway, but we'll start with this article. James Felton, 9 days from Brexit Day. Does anyone have a clue what's happening? But this is the point.
No one knows.
The point. So ask any country what you were doing in 9 days' time, and it would go something like this: Sweden, same old, same old. Germany, business as usual. Belgium, same but with waffles. Australia, fighting spiders as per. Finland, same as always. Japan, normal country stuff. UK, not an effing clue. And I put in a little beep.
You've toned it down. Good lad, good lad.
There you go. In any case,
that's it. You know, people saying to me, "Are you going to get a passport? Are you going to get this?" I don't know. I mean,
it's going.
What do you do? What do you do? You know?
It's going really going down to the wire. And this is a good illustrate. Well, there's this cartoon first, also in the Guardian. Please, sir. Can I have some more of you evil Europeans? So it's showing the kind of the bind that Theresa May is in with the clock ticking, Uncle Ben there around her neck, and all of this sort of anti-European rhetoric, yet you have to go back and ask for something. So it's obviously not very easy.
She's wearing Big Ben as a pendant. Is that right?
Yeah, it's probably not
that's satire. And there are shoes hanging in it, aren't they?
Shoes have been taken off.
Famous
as well.
leopard skin
she's looking very
that she wears.
Worse for wear. Now, quite a few people have been putting up images of milk that they've been purchasing in their local supermarket, because the expiry date of milk is actually now after, a lot of the time, the expiry date for Brexit. But in this case, it is the same expiry date. Just bought this milk. It's already turned sour, says Tom Kirk. And someone else with the same expiry date there, 29th of March, says, how fine are we cutting it on Brexit? Well, I popped out at lunchtime and bought some milk. Yeah, not worried at all.
There you go.
The date is upon us. And in the meantime, of course, all eyes on I suppose, various European figures to see to what extent, how this will play out. And of course, Emmanuel Macron has struck a tough tone.
No delay of Brexit without a clear project. And this is the problem. There's never been a clear project. It's like getting 3 years and we still don't really know what it's about, you know.
Guy Verhofstadt saying the only relevant question now is if Prime Minister May can muster a cross-party majority by next week. In other words, coming down to the wire again. Now, this I thought was interesting. Britain is in a hole. Europe, we need you to dig us out. Going back to that cartoon as well, the fact that you have to kind of go back with the begging bowl again. And what he says is, some may laugh at the Commons Speaker invoking a procedural rule dating back to 1604, but it's a reminder that since the 17th century, the English form of revolution has been to assert the authority of Parliament over an overmighty executive, such as Charles I or others. Last week, a motion for Parliament to take control of the Brexit process lost by just 2 votes. Another such motion is likely to succeed. Do EU leaders really want to spurn a democratic Britain while embracing an undemocratic Hungary? So what he's saying for here is just give us more time, give us another year. This can be worked out. It's just we're being tangled, we're caught in I suppose, the tangles of democratic process. You know, I thought it was a fair enough point, a point that makes things look slightly less absurd.
Now, there's been some claim that someone on the other side of the pond, should we say, really had the best advice for Theresa May. And this is an op-ed by Donald Trump Jr. in the Daily Telegraph. I'm asking myself, why on earth is the Daily Telegraph publishing an op-ed by Donald Trump Jr.? What on earth is that about?
You're not the only one to think that, Mark. This is the op-ed here in respectable Daily broadsheet Daily Telegraph, but it is
centre-right, Conservative Party, etc., etc. But it's a good
People
paper.
were shocked by that, though, because it was clear. I'll just quickly read out a couple of comments on this. Telegraph are running an opinion piece from Donald Trump that is full of the sort of tropes and code words beloved of conspiracy theorists on the far right. It looks like something that should be on InfoWars rather than a UK newspaper. A little bit worrying. And here are said tropes: establishment elites trying to subvert the will of the people, etc., etc. So people were kind of concerned about that. Others saying that
the Trumps talk about elites, isn't it? You know, they've got more money than soft Mick, haven't they? It's ridiculous, you know.
It's somewhat.
Sorry if that's
no, but it's. I think it's somewhat hypocritical.
Distasteful thing to say.
Somewhat hypocritical. Might I finish with this article?
You can do anything you wish, sir.
All right, Fintan O'Toole. This is in the Irish Times. He's been writing extensively on this, and he's been writing very intelligently as well, I think. And this is an ironic headline. Are the English ready for self-government? Westminster chaos.
You say the English, not the British.
The English. Yeah. Westminster chaos affords a preview of Britain standing alone with its demons. It's worth reading because what he goes on to say is Brexit is all about the EU versus Britain, but actually the problem is Britain and the sinews in Britain are actually coming apart. There's a sort of a common sense of belonging that is sundering. And he goes on to say that nationalism, which is, I suppose, the beast behind Brexit, is a great beast for carrying you to the point of independence, and then it becomes a dead horse. And he uses other historical examples as well. That's what brings you to the point of independence, and then where are you going to go from there? Anyway, there's loads more to say on that, but actually you're left alone with your demons is his conclusion, and that's not very...
Remember the comedian Spike Milligan ending a programme by saying, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now?
I know.
And it went on and on and on. That was the end of the programme.
Just continue,
James, I think Brexit feels like that. Thank you, James. Great to see you. James Crim of Media Watch.